in the absence of face-to-face classes, one challenge that was identified was the need for, of course, the creation, reproduction, and distribution of modules. And this was something that we tried to address through fund allocation through our local school board. And of course, there were a lot of donations that came in for printing devices, printers, and the LGU as well also purchased 3 risographs to address this need. Another challenge that was identified was the lack of reliable internet access and gadgets, of course, for both teachers and learners for online classes. And so with the help of our provincial government and the kind consideration of our governor, Governor Pacoy Ortega, we were able to provide laptops to 600 teachers here in the province, here in our municipality. And we are also expecting another batch to arrive. And we were able to provide wireless internet access to all the schools here in La Union, here in Agoo. Another challenge that was brought about by the pandemic was the lack of information and communication technology skills, and of course the training and digital competence, which is needed by our teachers and many of our parents who are tasked with guiding our students at home. And so, this is something that we're still looking into. Although we're very fortunate that Synergeia has initiated so many of our workshops and trainings for our teachers and parents and SGCs, but the municipality would also like to come up with our own trainings and workshops in the future as well. So there's one more challenge that I need to emphasize: the difficulty guiding learners with their accomplishment of their modules and their lessons. And this brought about the Agoo Education Help Center and the Kapit Ka Lang Best program, 2 programs which I would like to expound on a little more later. Another challenge, of course, was the difficulty communicating with parents regarding requirements and the students' needs. And so here we saw that there really is an important role to be played by the community, the different barangay councils, the school governing councils, the PTAs, the parents and the teachers. And here we were able also to mobilize our Sangguniang Kabataan, or our youth. And definitely you need to involve everyone when it comes to delivering basic and quality education. Okay, so keeping in mind all of those challenges, we were able to administer a learning assessment exam. This was conducted around February to March of this year. And it was done, of course, with the guidance of our Synergeia mentors. And what we did was to assess learning outcomes among grades 2 to 6 learners for 3 core subjects, particularly for math, English, and Filipino. So for these grades, we have a population size of 3,410 students. And of course, we used a high confidence interval and a low margin of error to try and make our results accurate. And we came up with a total of 1,410 subjects, which we studied across 18 public elementary schools here in our municipality. And we did a purposive sampling. So we did choose poor performers, students that were performing averagely, and those that were known to perform very well. So these were the results. Actually, it's presented here per district. So East District, West District, and the average. It's not that we're trying to compare them or pin one district against the other. It's just that when data is usually collected and collated, it's usually done per district. And at the same time, when we do introduce interventions, we try to do them per district as well. So here, for the performance for math, you see that there's a dip in their performance of our grade 5 students, and quite visually obvious, you can see here. And for English, you see that there's also a dip for our grade 4 students, right there. And for Filipino, there seems to be a discrepancy between the data that was collected from the results of our East and West district, although there is no apparent reason for this, although it's something that we can look into. All right, so if you look at the averages for our grade 2 to grade 6 students, it I don't think it's really something that we can boast about. Our average scores range from 60 to 69%. And although we don't really have any other data to compare this with, and we're not able to compare it with other municipalities, because not every municipality has also taken the initiative to assess. So although, generally from someone who is not who is outside the education sector, technically, I would think that this isn't really considered passing. So I know that there is a lot of room for improvement, but everything has to be measured. And what really needs to be stressed here is that all of the municipalities, all the LGUs, they must assess as soon as possible so that we have data to start with, data to improve on. So then again, looking at all of our results, the question is, are our students really learning? Assessment is said to be mainly output based. We're basing it on whether our students are able to submit their modules on time and completely. And of course, if they're not able to do so, then this means an increase in our dropout rates. So um, going back again to the main challenge, how do we guide and assist our learners with accomplishing their modules and lessons? So when we're very thankful actually to the Synergeia Foundation for assisting us with our workshops with our SGCs. It was during one of our SGC meetings that this problem was identified. And apparently, there are a lot of students who are unable to submit their modules and their lessons because of various reasons. And these include poor living conditions at home, children are being forced to work instead of study. And some homes are not able to provide an environment that is conducive for learning. We also did see a rise in teenage pregnancy, and there were also a lot of parents and guardians who were unavailable or not even at home or able to assist their children with their lessons. So, just some of our insights. Again, we want to know that we're assured of the quality of education that we provide our students, and we want to know that they're really able to learn and to apply what they are studying. And therefore, the best way is to assess. And even if assessment is difficult at this point, given the constraints of physical um, provision of exams, it still needs to be done one way or another. And we need to make information and avenues for information available and accessible to all. Even parents and teachers need support. I can't stress enough how many times parents and even grandparents have come to express how taxing it's been on them and how difficult the transition has been for them, because a lot of the guidance has to come from them at this point. And of course, we need to tap all resources to engage and involve all of our stakeholders. As we say, it does take a village to raise a child. And we need to learn to adapt and to innovate and, of course, maximize media. Education, at the end of the day, must remain inclusive. No child should be left behind. We need to make sure it is our responsibility as well to make sure that we give the best opportunities to good quality education to all students, all of our learners, and all of our children.